Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Olin-Zak Field in Decorah. The Vikings won game one of the doubleheader by a 1-0 margin and will look for the sweep, sending Ian Smith to the hill here in game number two of the doubleheader. And he will face this Charles City lineup. Nate Lasher is the pitcher, Colton Slinger at second base, Brady Sickman in center field, Drew Mitchell the catcher, Theo Arndt at short, Tyler Brockney in left, Wyatt Stevenson at first base, Jordan Capping at third base, and Noah Schlater in right field. Brandon Hogan picked up his first win, throwing a shutout in game number one. Ian Smith, or I should say his fifth win, throwing a shutout in game number one. Ian Smith will look for win number 5 right here. He is 4-1 with the 4.13 ERA. Opponents hitting 188 against him. Nate Lasher moves up from the 3-hole to the leadoff spot here in game number 2. Lasher was 0 for 3 in game number 1, and the pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Jay Marley calling the balls and strikes, and Scott Hoppel working the base pass here in game number 2 on a gorgeous night here at Olin-Zak Field. The pitch, ground ball towards third. Diving stop made by Thorsten. Gets to his feet, throws to first base, and gets Lasher. Nice play by Ryan Thorsten at third to retire the Comet leadoff batter. One down here in the inning. One down, nobody on. And the batter will be Colton Slinger. Slinger 0 for 3 in game number 1. Brandon Hogan threw a 2-hit shutout in game number 1. And the pitch swung out and missed. Smith is a kid that, if you had another good option at catcher, would probably be throwing a little bit more this year, but defensively, he's the best you got. The 0-1 inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's not that Jace Johnson isn't capable at all, but you probably, for the most part, don't want to put a freshman back there on a full-time basis. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. The target from Johnson, and the 1-1 delivery, swinging a fly ball towards right center field. Retreating is Gabe Varney. He will make the catch for the second out here in inning number 1. Defensively for Decorah here in game 2, Minks, Varney, Phillips across the outfield, Thorsten, Meyer, Kanoki, and Marlowe across the infield, with the freshman Jace Johnson behind the plate. And Brady Sickman will stand in with 2 down here in the inning. Sickman 0 for 2 and a walk in game number 1. No score here in game number 2, and the pitch in there for a strike to Brady Sickman. No balls and 1 strike. Game 2 getting underway. 20 minutes ahead of schedule here tonight. Nothing wrong with that. 0-1 delivery, grounded foul. Kick save and a beauty by TD in the third base box. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. So Ian looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Oh, 2 with 2 down. Top half of the first inning. No score. Ian winds in, delivers, and the pitch swung on and missed at a pitch in the dirt. Jace is going to pick it up. And 1 hop to throw to first base, and Marlowe couldn't corral it. Jace Johnson kind of nonchalanted the throw down to first base that time instead of the good step and throw situation. So Ian Smith gets a strikeout, but a runner does reach. And the batter will be Drew Mitchell. Runner at first, 2 down, first inning, no score.
Drew Mitchell.
Couple of steps off the bag is Sickman at first. Mitchell, the right-hand hitter against the right-hander. Smith working out of the stretch for the first time tonight. And the pitch low and away. It is 1 ball, no strikes. In to a Chest high, paws away from his body. The 1-0 hit well towards right center field. After it is Barney. He can't get there. It's going to be one hopping against the fence. Rounding third, coming to the plate is Sickman, getting a late stop sign from Coach Downing. It ends up being a long single for Mitchell, first and third. With 2 down, and Theo Arndt gets an opportunity. So Mitchell, the catcher, will have a courtesy runner. That will be Sinwell at first base. Elliot Sinwell, the runner at first base for Mitchell. And the batter is Theo Arndt. Again, Decorah in one of these situations where they should be out of the inning. Theo Arndt was 0 for 1 with the sacrifice with the stick in game number 1. He threw a good ball game, but ended up with the loss. The runner at third, Sickman. The runner at first is Sinwell. The pause by Ian Smith and the pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. A strikeout, an error, and a hit have put the Comets in this situation. The 0-1 delivery, breaking ball inside, and now it's 2 balls and no strikes. So if the Comets do score, it is an unearned run situation. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. Into a pause, and the 2-0 taken up, and now it's 3 balls and no strikes. Vikes didn't have the break go their way. But sometimes you just got to show a little mental toughness and just get that next out. As time asked for and granted. As Arndt steps out of the box. He's back into the left-hand batter's box now as Smith comes set with the 3-0 count. The pitch inside corner, strike 1 call. 3 balls, 1 strike. Smith in a jam here in the first inning. Into the rubber. Away from first, Sinwell. Away from third is Sickman. 3-1 delivery, ground ball towards second. Kanoki fields on multiple hops. He'll throw to first base to retire the side. So out of all of that, way too much excitement in that first inning from a Decorah perspective. But no runs, 1 hit. 1 error and 2 left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. It is Charles City, nothing. And Decorah coming to bat, and the Vikes will bat this way. Joe Kanoki at second base. Gabe Varney in center. Dawson Meyer at short. Jake Marlowe at first. Brandon Hogan is the DH in this game for Jace Johnson, the catcher. Ian Smith, the pitcher. Trevor Phillips in right field. Ryan Thorsten at third, and Cole Minks is in left field. That lineup will face Nate Lasher for the Comets. Lasher yet to face the Vikings this year. It was Drew Mitchell in the first meeting between these two teams, which was held in Riceville 3 weeks ago today. In the first game tonight, it was
half of the first inning. Nate Lasher pitching for Charles City.
Theo Arndt. Joe Kanoki steps in, swings the first one, fouls it right side. The ball's in 1 strike. Kanoki was on base every time in game number 1 with 2 singles and a walk. Vikes won that one 1-0, looking for the season sweep of Charles City. It would be the only team, if they are able to accomplish that, to get swept by Decorah. As the pitch goes outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Vikings got swept by Waverly, got swept by New Hampton. Owine, who will finish 3rd in the league, lost 2 of 3. 1-1 delivery, sprayed foul down the left field line and nearly out of play. Brockney unable to reach it though, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Kanoki. Crestwood defeated Decorah 2 out of 3. They're going to finish 4th in the league. Vikes got 2 out of 3 from walk-on, and they've gotten 2 to this point from Charles City as the pitch goes outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Joe Kanuki. 2-2 the count. The pitch swinging a foul. Third base side, not a play over Goose Island Drive. As the wind starts to pick up a little bit. Chilly enough tonight that E-Train has already put the jacket on. The 2-2 delivery, ground ball to the right side, picked up there by Slinger on 3 hops. On to first base to retire his fellow second baseman. 1 down here in the inning. Tyler Brockney, Brady Sickman, Noah Schlater left to right in the outfield. Jordan Capping at third, Theo Arndt at short, Colton Slinger at second, Wyatt Stevenson at first, Drew Mitchell behind the plate. And on the hill, Nate Lasher. Lasher, a junior. 2 seniors, or make that 3 seniors on this Charles City squad, as a base hit to center field off the bat of Varney. So he swings at the first pitch and smacks a single to center. The Vikes get their first base runner, a 1-out single for Varney here in the first. Dawson Meyer in game 1 was 0 for 3. 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the first, no score. The pause by Lasher, and the pitch low. 1 ball, no strikes. Moved to first base. Varney had a decent lead, and he's back to the bag diving. So 1-0 the count on Meyer from Lasher. The pause, the 1-0 delivery. Swinging a fly ball out to right field. Schlater is after it. He'll make a one-handed snag in medium depth right field. That's the second out of the inning. So Meyer hit it well. Had one of those loud outs back in the first game as well. So runner at first, 2 down. The batter is Jake Marlowe. Marlowe in game 1, 1 for 3. Had a single in the 6th inning. The pitch instead of moved to first base. And back to the bag diving is Varney. The pause and the pitch. Swinging a foul at the plate. The ball's 1 strike count on Marlowe. Three-stride lead at first base by Varney. The pause, the 0-1, hit him. Curveball didn't curve. Marlowe got hit just above the 1 on the 17 on the back of his jersey. So that'll move Varney to second, Marlowe down to first. 2 down in the inning. And Brandon Hogan will be the batter. Hogan 1 for 3 in game number 1. The pause by Lasher. 2 looks at second, and the pitch. Swinging a fly ball right field. Angling over is Schlater. He's under it, and he will make the catch to retire the side. So both teams leave 2 runners in inning number 1. 1 hit and 2 left. At the end of 1 inning, there's no score. Top half of inning number 2 upon us. It's a 0-0 game. Tyler Brockney will be the batter. It'll be hitters 6, 7, and 8 due in the Comet lineup. Vikes won game one, 1-0. No scores. We start the second. Stevenson was 0 for 2 in game number 1, and a swinging bunt up the third base side rolls foul. And it's 1-0 on Tyler Brockney. The win in game number 1 means Decorah will finish 5th in the conference, a 7-11 record. The win was also the 16th of the season for Decorah. That means they have surpassed their record from a year ago. They were a 15-18 team a year ago. No balls and 1 strike count. The 0-1 delivery is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you're able to win one of your next 3, it does guarantee you at least a 500 record this year. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Ian Smith ready, and the 1-1 delivery in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Stevenson and capping to follow. I think I gave you Stevenson's stats early. Brockney was the leadoff hitter actually in game number 1, and he was 0 for 3. Righty-righty matchup starting the second. The 1-2 delivery smacked into right field on is Phillips. He can't get there, and the ball gets by him briefly. It'll be a base hit to right field as Brockney stayed put at first base. Phillips was able to get enough of a stop to it to prevent runner advancement. That is the first time in tonight's doubleheader in 9 offensive plate appearances that Charles City has gotten their leadoff runner on. Runner at first, nobody out for Wyatt Stevenson. No score here in the top of the second inning. And taking off is Brockney, pitch low. Jace Johnson's throw down to second is late. So Brockney steals second. 1 down, or 1-0 the count. With nobody out here in the inning. The pause, the 1-0. Funding right in front of the plate is Stevenson. Barehand pickup made by Smith. He'll throw to first base to get Stevenson by a step, but Brockney moves up to third on the play. Ian Smith doing a decent job of being that 5th infielder, hustling after the ball and throwing a strike to Marlowe with the runner in between Smith and Marlowe that time. So runner at third and 1 down, and capping will be the batter. 1 for 2 on the ball game in game number 1. No score here in the second inning. Vikes won game 1 by a 1-0 margin. The pitch down and in, and Johnson able to get his glove down to knock that one down on the breaking ball down and into the right-hand hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. One-0. Smack toward short, caught there by Meyer, and a throw to third base, not in time. Brockney was barely off the bag. Meyer caught it, and then 1 motion through to third. Couldn't quite get Brockney, but a big second out for Decorah. A runner at third and 2 down. And Noah Schlater was 0 for 2 in game number 1. No score here in the second. Smith trying to get out of it as Schlater hits ground ball towards third. Thorsten Fields throws across the diamond to retire the side. So the Vikes work around a leadoff single. 1 hit, 1 left. We are 1.5 complete. It is Decorah and Charles City scoreless. Final week of the regular season starts Monday night. Decorah will be at Cedar Falls. We'll have it for you at 7 o'clock Monday night right here on the radio. AM 1240 KDEC and at KDECradio.com. And then Tuesday night will be the home finale, Decorah and Waterloo West. It'll be a 7:30 start time. That's varsity JV that night. Ian Smith, Trevor Phillips, and Ryan Thorsten here in the second inning for Decorah. 0-0 game. Smith with the stick, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice in game number 1. He'll swing at the first one and foul one, third base side. No balls and one strike on Smith. Both teams got 2 runners on in the first inning and left them both. Comets got a leadoff single in the second inning, but left Brockney at third. Comets have yet to score an earned run this year against Decorah. The ball's 1 strike count. The 0-1 delivery rolled toward short, fielded there by Arndt. He'll wind up and throw to first base to retire. The Decorah pitcher Smith, 1 up, 1 down, inning number 2. Trevor Phillips was 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly in game number 1. Phillips 3 for 4 in 2 RBIs in his last 2 games. No score here in the second. He pitch a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes to count. One-0 round ball, left side, past Capping, fielded short by Arndt. He'll pick it up and throw it to first base, but not in time. Infield hit for Phillips, second hit of the game for Decorah. So a runner at first and 1 down. Once that ball got by Capping, who usually plays very shallow at third base.
Third baseman Ryan Thurston.
The realistic chance of getting that out there for the Comets went away. 1 on, 1 out for Ryan Thurston. Thurston 0 for 2 in game number 1. Each team now with 2 hits. Capping in on the grass at third once again. Lasher delivers, pitch in on the hands, and Thurston fouls it back to the screen. No balls and 1 strike to count. I know it's just right around 7:30. Most of you perhaps tuning in, expecting to hear the start of Game 2. We're already 2 innings into Game 2. It's a scoreless game. Game 1 went quick, and Decorah won that one 1-0. The pitch at the knees and for a strike. It is 0-2. Brandon Hogan, a 2-hit shutout in that game, and he only threw 61 pitches. I guess on the high school level, you can call that one a Maddox. The major league definition as the pitch goes high to Thurston, 1 ball, 2 strikes. A complete game by throwing less than 100 pitches is called a Maddox in honor of Hall of Famer Greg Maddox. 61-7, I think that's the high school equivalent. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 down. That one smacked into left field. It'll be a base hit. Fielded on 1 hop by Brockney. Phillips stops at second. Vikes in business. First and second with 1 down here in inning number 2. And Cole Minks will have an opportunity. Minks 1 for 2 in game number 1.
Number 9 hitter Cole Minks.
Phillips second. Thurston first. They lead from their respective bases. Stevenson plays behind the runner at first. Lasher works out of a set. And Minks squares the bunt and takes the pitch high. 1 ball, no strikes. Capping is playing back at third, and Cole does have the ability to lay a bunt down, and not only for sacrifices, but he'd probably do it for a base hit in this situation. And with Capping playing back, it might not be a bad idea. 1-0, bunted up the third base side. Charging there is Lasher. He'll pick it up and throw to first base. Dug out well at first by Stevenson. He'll give him a sacrifice and move Phillips to third and Thurston to second. And Kanoki will be the batter. 2 on, 2 runners in scoring position, 2 out. Bottom of the second inning, it's a scoreless game. Joe Kanoki grounded to second his first time up. Last frame, he's overall 2 for 3 with a walk here in the doubleheader. The pitch. Backdoor breaking ball. Taken for a strike on the outside edge to the left-hand hitting Kanoki. No balls and 1 strike. Long look in by Lasher. He'll come set away from his body, chest level, the 0-1. Fastball outside. Good snag behind the plate by Drew Mitchell to avoid runner advancement. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. The pause, a look at second, the 1-1. Joe thought about it, thought better of it as the breaking ball went low and away. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Thought for a second Charles City might appeal that one, but they did not. It's 2 balls and 1 strike count. The pause, the 2-1, swinging a foul at the plate. It is 2-2 now on Kanoke. 2-2, 2 on, 2 out. To number 2 in the second inning of a scoreless game. Deuce is really wild right now. As wild as Elliott Christian. The pause, the pitch, swinging a foul over our heads on the third base side and out of play. Heard something back there. It wasn't your vehicle there, E-Train. He's got comprehensive anyway. 2-2. The pitch, ground ball, right side. Backhand stop made at second by Slinger. He'll throw to first base to retire Kanoke and the side here in the second inning. So 2 hits and 2 runners left. We are 2 innings complete. It's Decorah nothing and Charles City nothing. To the third inning we go. It's a 0-0 game. Vikes have had their chances in this one. They've had 2 runners on in each of the first 2 innings, but have been unable to get anyone past third base. Nate Lasher looks at a strike, nothing in 1. Ian Smith just threw his 25th pitch of the game. He's given up 2 hits. He's struck out 1. He hasn't walked anybody. The 0-1 delivery, a breaking ball low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lasher grounded to third his first time up. Decorah won game 1 of the doubleheader by a 1-0 margin. 1-1 delivery. Curveball low. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Lasher. Two and 1, pitch, ground ball, up the middle to his left as Dawson Meyer fields behind second base, and he'll throw to first base. The throw was on the home plate side of first, but Marlowe kept his foot on the bag and corralled the ball for the out. 1 down in the inning.
Colton Slinger.
And the batter will be Colton Slinger. Slinger, the number 2 hitter in the lineup, takes the first pitch low, 1 ball, no strikes. He flew out to center his first time up. (1-0) from Smith, swinging a pop-up, shallow left field, retreating is Dawson Meyer, the shortstop, under it, and he'll make a 2-handed shoulder-high catch on the left side of his body for the second out of the inning. So Meyer takes care of the first 2 outs here in the third. As Ian Smith looks for his first 1-2-3 inning, he'll face Brady Sickman, who struck out but reached on an error by Jace Johnson in game number 1, or in inning number 1, I should say. As the pitch sprayed foul, third base side out of play. This is the regular season finale for the Comets. They will play Waverly Shellrock next Friday night in Waverly at 7 o'clock, or a half an hour after the Decorah Crestwood game. 0-1 delivery, ground ball, 1 hopper right back to Smith. He'll run over to first and give an underhand toss to Jake Marlowe. And Sickman retired 1-3. For the first time in this game, the Comets go down in order. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It's Decorah and Charles City scoreless. Gabe Varney has a 1-1 count on him. He had a single to center back in the first, 1 for 1. 3 hits for Decorah, 2 hits for Charles City. Vikes with the only error in a scoreless game as we start the bottom of the third. The pitch goes outside. Two balls and 1 strike, the count. And the pitch swung on and missed. Good breaking ball down and in to the left-hand hitting Varney. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the third inning. And all about the pitching and the defense tonight. Vikes won game 1-0. Pitch swinging a pop-up third base side out of play. Just to our left up here in the press box. That shutout was the second one of the season for Decorah. The other one happening against Walk-On as Varney sprays one towards the third base side. And that's going to land fair behind the third base bag. Varney will stay put at first base. The infield was playing up. We talk about capping playing a shallow third base. He tried to backpedal. He couldn't realistically get there. Arndt tried to come over and lunge after it. He was unsuccessful in his attempt. It looks like a line drive in the box score. Runner at first, nobody out. And Dawson Meyer will be the batter. Flew out to right in the first, 0 for 1. Capping even with the bag at third this time. Lazar comes set. Meyer squares to bunt, does so up the first base side. That ball's going to stay fair. Lazar will pick it up and throw to first base to retire Meyer. Stevenson taking the toss. Sacrifice good, 1-3. Varney up to second. Marlowe RBI opportunity. He was hit by a pitch in the first.
Now batting, Jake Marlowe.
The runner at second is Varney. Decorah with 4 hits trying to break through here in the bottom of the third in a scoreless game. The pause by Lazar. A look back at second and the pitch. It goes low. 1 ball, no strikes to count. The pause, 2 looks at second. The 1-0 delivery in there for a strike. And it is 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Marlowe. One and 1. Pause by Lazar in the pitch. Ground ball, third base side. And it's booted at short by Arndt and into shallow left field. Arndt or Varney coming to the plate. Throw there, not in time. Marlowe down to second base. He'll beat the return throw from Mitchell. And the Vikes get on the board on the first defensive miscue of the night for Charles City. The ball went to the third base side. Arndt went to his right, ends up booting the ball. Varney had his sights set on scoring from the get-go. He was being waved in by Coach Olenzak all the way. The throw from Brockney wasn't in time, and heads up base running by Marlowe to move to second as the throw went home. So a 1-0 lead for Decorah. Hogan flew out to right to end the first, 0 for 1. Lazar will throw back to second. Back to the bag diving is Marlowe. Away from second is Marlowe. The pause by Lazar in the pitch. Rolled to the right side and through for a base hit. Marlowe being waved in. Schlater's throw to the plate. Misses the cutoff man. It's an RBI single by Hogan. And Marlowe scores to make it 2-0. First time in this doubleheader, the Vikes have gotten a crooked number on the board. Or really either team has gotten a crooked number on the board, as Hogan gets the RBI. For Brandon, that is number 16 on the season. He is second on the squad in that category behind Gabe Varney, who has 25. And Ian Smith will try to help his own cause. 2-0 Decorah, bottom of the third. First pitch hammered towards left center field. After it is Sickman. He will make the catch in medium depth left center. A hard hit ball, but an L8 in the scorebook for Smith, who is now 0 for 2. 2 down in the inning, and the batter is Trevor Phillips, who got an infield hit in the second inning. The pause, the pitch. A little bit low. Got away from Mitchell to his right. Hogan was lingering at first base, but he hustled back to the bag. Elliott impressed with my adjective or verb, whichever I use there. I believe it was a verb, right? 1-0, swing and miss at a pitch in the dirt. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Good breaking ball that fooled Phillips from Lasher. It's 1 ball, 1 strike count. 2-5-1 for Decorah, 0-2-1 for Charles City. Both runs unearned in this inning, but as always, they count on the board. Breaking ball taken low. It's 2 balls, 1 strike by Lasher to Phillips. Two and 1 the count. Lasher in at Mitchell for the side. The move to first base, and Hogan back to the bag diving. Hogan, the DH, has to run for himself here in game number 2. 2-1 the count. The pitch swing and a little swinging bunt right in front of the plate. Lasher picks it up and throws on to first base to retire Phillips and the side here in the inning. So, all told, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. End of 3, 2-0 Decorah. To the 4th we go. It's a 2-0 lead for Decorah.
Half of the 4th inning was Drew Mitchell.
Drew Mitchell will be the batter for Charles City. To face Ian Smith, who's thrown 32 pitches through 3, struck out 1, given up 2 hits, and hasn't walked anybody. First pitch is wild and back to the screen. 1 ball, no strikes. Mitchell has one of the 2 hits. He smacked a single deep to center field, and it was actually 1 hopping against the fence. Back in at the first inning. 1-0 delivery, missed outside, is 2 balls and no strikes. Ian has retired the leadoff batter in 2 of the 3 innings. Ian tried to match Brandon Hogan in the win column. Hogan got his 5th earlier tonight as Mitchell swings and misses. 2 balls, 1 strike. Good breaking ball from Ian on the last one. The 2-1 delivery is up. It is now 3 balls and 1 strike. And that's the second time in 13 batters that Ian has gone to a 3-ball count on a Comet hitter. 3 balls, 1 strike. Ian ready in the 3-1. Swinging a foul back to the screen. 3 balls, 2 strikes down. A Comet error. A Hogan single scores 2 runs in the 3rd inning for Decorah. And they lead it 2-0 as Mitchell pops one down the left field line, and that is going to be a foul ball just to the left of the chalk up the 3rd base side. Barely foul. But Scott Hopple hustling down the line. You heard the holler and you saw the arms go up. He was glad that he was sure, for those of you who remember those TV commercials. 3-2, hammered toward short, caught in the air by Dawson Meyer, who makes a sliding grab for the first out here in the 4th inning. So ever since the Brockway single to lead off the 2nd inning, Smith has now retired 7 in a row. Theo Arndt rounded to 2nd in the first 0 for 1. And he looks at a strike. Nothing in one. Breaking ball, taken low. It's 1 ball, 1 strike count. Smith in a pretty good groove. The 1-1 delivery, ground ball to the right side. To his left is Kanoki, and an easy toss over to first base to retire Ernst. 2 down in the inning. And the last Comet to reach base was Tyler Brockney. It was a leadoff single back in the second inning. He ended up getting to second on a stolen base. He was on third with 1 out before capping line to short, and Schlater grounded to third to end that threat. As that one toward short, caught by Dawson Meyer, and that's that for the 4th inning. An easy 4th for Ian Smith. 3 up, 3 down. Halfway home in game 2 of this doubleheader. It's a 2-0 lead for Decorah. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 Decorah. Ryan Thorsten swings and misses at the first offering. From Nate Lasher, no balls and 1 strike. Lasher gave up 2 unearned runs in the 3rd inning. And the Vikes lead it 2-0. If you go back to that game in Riceville 3 weeks ago today, ground ball towards third, capping to his left. Fields throws to first base. 1 third baseman retires the other. 1 down here in inning number 4. So Thorsten now 1 for 2. Cole Minks will be the batter. He sacrificed 2 runners up back in the 3rd inning.
At bat, as indicated on the scoreboard, number 12, Cole Minks.
Minks, no official at bat yet. He's 1 for 2 in the doubleheader. The pitch smacked towards the left side, past a lunging Arnton into left field for a base hit. So Minks now with the 6th hit of the night for Decorah. A 1-out single here in the 4th, and the batter is Joe Kanoki. Vikes won game 1 by a 1-0 margin, and they lead it 2-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kanoki has played Pepper at second base with Colton Slinger grounding out to him in both the 1st and in the 2nd innings. Pause by Lasher, and Joe looks at the first pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Still an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball here in Decorah. Couldn't ask for much better here on the 8th of July. 1-0. Instead, a move to first base. And back to the bag diving is Minks. Pause by Lasher. 1-0 sails outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes to count. Backdoor breaking ball taken on the outside edge for a strike. It is 2 balls and 1 strike to count now. A move to first base. Back to the bag. Diving is Minks on a very close play. It looked like Cole was leaning a bit that time, but a lunge and perhaps an extra oomph got him back there just in time. The pause, the 2-1. Cole Minks goes pitch outside, throw down to second base. Is not in, it was in time, but Lasher cutting over from the shortstop position couldn't hang on to the ball. So Minks steals second. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike. With one down here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Kanoki now with an RBI opportunity. 3-1 delivery. Chopper foul, first base side. Ryan Hogan tries the bare hand pickup. Footwork C-. Fielding D. Throw back to the pitcher a B. So what does that get you on the GPA? About a 1.8 maybe. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Lazar comes set in the 3-2 to Kanoki, low and in the dirt, ball 4. Mitchell made a nice stop to prevent Minks from going. Kanoki down to first base, and Gabe Varney will be the batter. Singled in the first, singled and scored in the third.
Brings up Gabe Varney.
That was after a 0 for 3 performance in game number 1. 2-0 Decorah, bottom of the fourth inning. Vikes out hitting Charles City 6-2, each team with an error thus far. Lazar just walked his first man as Varney fouls one third base side into foul ground. Is capping. He will make the catch. And there's 2 down here in the inning as Varney went after the first pitch and fouls out. And it'll be up to Dawson Meyer to make something out of this fourth inning. First and second, 2 down. A 2-0 lead for Decorah. Meyer flew out to right in the first, sacrificed a runner up in the third. Lazar out of the set, the pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch number 51 coming from Lazar here in a moment. Here it is. It's high again to Meyer, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. The 2 runs scored in the third inning, 1 on an error, 1 on an RBI single by Hogan. Minks at second, Kanoki at first. Lazar steps to the rubber, bent over looking in for the side from Mitchell. He'll come set chest high away from his body. Takes a long pause, and the 2-0 is outside. It gets by Mitchell, so both runners will move up 90 feet. Minks and Kanoki will move up 90 feet, and we're going to give Mitchell a pass ball on that one. I think he was perhaps crossed up. This is Vikings Radio, 1240 KDEC Decorah and KDECradio.com. Darren Swenson with Northeast Iowa Conference Baseball tonight from Olin Zach Field in Decorah. Decorah beat Charles City in game 1 1-0 and is leading here in game 2 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. As Meyer looks at a strike on 3-0. It's 3 balls and 1 strike now. Second and third with 2 down. The pitch, ground ball towards third, capping. Fields it in fair territory, throws to first base, not in time. Scoring is Minks. Up to third goes Kanoki. It's a 3-0 lead for Decorah. I was surprised that Capping fielded that ball, but he probably felt the only way he could possibly get it out was by fielding it. It just stayed up the chalk up the third base side, and Capping made the judgment that it wasn't going to roll foul.
Now batting Jake Marlowe.
Speaking of rolling, Dawson couldn't have rolled it out there any better. It's now a 3-0 lead for Decorah, first and third with 2 down. Marlowe will look to add to the fun, hit by a pitch in the first. Reached on an error to score a run, and he scored him a run himself in the fourth. The pitch goes high. It's 1 ball, no strikes on Jake Marlowe. So a 3-0 lead here for Decorah. Away from first, Meyer. Down the line from third is Kanoki. Pitch by Lazar. No move to first base, and back to the bag diving is Meyer. The throw came to the home plate side of first base, and Stevenson had to act like a catcher to prevent it from moving up. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 down. The pause. The 1-0. In there for a strike at the letters to Jake, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kanoki off a third. Meyer off a first. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Lazar ready. Runner takes off. Pitch swung out, smack towards left. Brockney is there. He will make the catch to retire the side. But a profitable 4th for Decorah. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left. We are 4 innings complete in game 2 of this conference doubleheader. Decorah leading by a 3-0 margin.
Stevenson.
Ian Smith has only thrown 43 pitches through his 4 innings. He's only given up 2 hits and has retired 9 batters in a row. He struck out 1, walked none. Wyatt Stevenson looks at the first pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes. 3-0 Decorah as we start the top half of the 5th inning. Next pitch inside from Ian. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Vikes got 2 runs in the 3rd inning, 1 off of a Comet error and 1 off of a Hogan RBI single. An RBI infield hit for Dawson Meyer with 2 outs in the 4th inning added to the total. Ian into the windup, and the 2-0 goes low. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Three and 0 the count. And the pitch in there for a strike. It's 3-1. We proceed. 3-1. Breaking ball. Great location. Inside corner at the knees. The right hand hitting Stevenson, taken for strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. The 3-2 delivery, swinging a foul back. So we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Smith winds and deals in the 3-2 outside for ball 4, and that's the first walk for Ian Smith, and that ends the string of 9 in a row retired as well. So Stevenson doesn't have an official at bat yet. So he's sacrificed a runner up in the 2nd inning and walked here in the 5th. And looks like TD's going to his bench here. Dylan Korish will be the pinch runner for Wyatt Stevenson. Korish at first, nobody out. Jordan Capping will be the batter, lined out to short in the 2nd inning. And that was one of the key moments in this game. That was with a runner at 3rd and 1 down. Moved to first base and back to the bag diving just in time was Korish. So no count yet on Capping. Smith comes set. Short lead at first base by Korish. He'll take off, and the pitch swung on, popped up, foul ball right side. Marlowe will take a peek, but it hits the light pole, hits the roof of the Comet dugout, and caroms away. No balls and 1 strike count on Jordan Capping. Oh, 1. Pitch, a strike. Runner goes throw down to second base. A 1-hop throw. Applying the tag is Kanoki. Scott Hoppel looking to see if he still got the ball. He does, but Korish got in just ahead of the throw from Johnson. A strike gets him in that situation. The one hop gave him enough time to get in with the feet first slide, but it's 0-2 now on capping. The pause by Ian Smith and the 0-2 delivery, swinging a pop up right side. The pitcher, Smith, calls and catches. Capping now 0 for 2, runner at second, one down here in the fifth inning. So runner at second and one down. And the batter is Noah Schlater, who grounded to third in the second, 0 for 1. Runner at second, one down. As we mentioned, it's a 3-0 lead for Decorah here in the fifth. And they're going to rule a balk on Ian Smith. Had my head in the scorecard, so don't exactly know what happened there. No argument from the Decorah dugout. I actually saw Coach O argue with an umpire the other day, and you don't see that, frankly, too often. The pitch low, and it gets by Jace Johnson and back to the screen. Scoring on the plate will be Dylan Korish, and for the first time tonight, the Comets are on the board. It was a 55-foot curveball, and Jace didn't have too much chance to corral that one. So a walk, a stolen base, a balk, and a wild pitch scores the Comets' first run. It's now 3-1 here in the fifth inning, and it's 1-0 on Schlater. The pitch swung on and missed. It is 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one the count with one down here in the fifth. 1-1 delivery inside. Did it hit him? Yes, it did. Schlater hit by the pitch. A runner at first, one down, one in. Tom Kanoki is warming up in the Decorah bullpen, as is John Will Jenkins. And out of the third base dugout and out to the mound will go Coach Olenzak. Top of the order up with Lasher. Lasher grounded to third in the first and grounded to short in the third. Just a pep talk conversation from Coach Olenzak to Ian Smith. The infield and battery were also a part of it on the mound. And Noah Schlater will get a pinch runner. That will be Elliot Sinwell. He will run for Schlater at first base. Sinwell at first, one down, one in. 3-1 Vikings with Lasher at the plate. He grounded to third in the first, grounded to short in the third. The pause and the pitch as Lasher squared to bunt and took a strike, 0-1. I'm wondering, since Lasher was squaring to bunt with one out, if Sinwell had a steal sign there and he missed it. No balls, 1 strike count. Runner goes, pitch taken high. Jace's throw down to second base is not in time. The throw was slightly to the shortstop side of second. And Sinwell steals second, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Actually, it's no balls, 2 strikes. I'm sorry. They called that pitch a strike. So it's 0-2 on Lasher, and the pitch, ground ball to the right side, picked up there by Kanoki. He'll throw to first base for the out. Moving up to third on the play is Sinwell. There's 2 down here in the inning. 2 down, runner at third. A 3-1 lead for Decorah here in the fifth. And the batter will be Colton Slinger. flew out to center in the first inning and popped to short in the third. Slinger up, runner at third, 2 down. 2-run advantage for Decorah. That one smacked in left field. After it is Cole Minks. He'll make a sliding grab in shallow left to end it here in the 5th. 1 run, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left. We head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Stretch time here in Decorah. It is the Vikings leading the Comets 3-1. A sparkling defensive play by Cole Minks ended the Comet threat in the 5th inning.
Brandon Hogan.
Brandon Hogan will lead things off in the bottom of the 5th for Decorah. It's a 3-1 lead for the Vikings. They're out hitting the Comets 7-2. Each team with an error thus far. A curve taken for a strike by Hoagie. No balls and 1 strike. Hogan flew out to right in the first, single to right to knock in a run in the 3rd inning. Lasher has given up 3 runs, only 1 of them earned. He's given up a lot of base runners, but the Vikes have also left 7 on through 2 innings. Pitch low and away to Brandon Hogan, winning pitcher in game number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike count. On 1. Low and in the dirt. It is 2 balls and 1 strike count. Two and 1 the count. Lasher ready. Pitch low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Lasher trailing in the count to the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-1 inside, and it hit him. So Hogan hit by the pitch. He's on base for the 2nd time in 3 at-bats. And Ian Smith will try to help his own cause.
The pitcher, Ian
Smith grounded to short in the 2nd inning and lined out to center in the 3rd. Bryce Hosting will pinch run for Brandon Hogan in this situation.
Number 20, Bryce Hosting, pinch running at first.
Good to see Bryce back out for baseball this year. Hasn't gotten any regular time, but he found himself a nice role as a pinch runner, and obviously he's pretty athletic when it comes to the running end of things, but also when it comes to base running, you got to be pretty smart, and Bryce has been that way this year as well. Smith squares to bunt, takes the pitch high, it hops out of the glove of Mitchell, and up to second will go Bryce Hosting. Second pass ball of game 2 on Drew Mitchell. A runner at second and nobody out, and a 1-0 count on Ian Smith. So we'll see if that changes the strategy at all for Coach O in the 3rd base box. 1-0 the count with a runner at second, nobody out. The pause as Smith still squares to bunt, and the next one goes high from Lasher. It is 2 balls and no strikes. .63rd pitch coming up for Lasher. Ian Smith, by comparison, has thrown 60 through 5 innings. The pause. A look back at second. Smith squares to bunt and looks at one for a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike now. As Ian was squaring, and I believe he had the take sign there. The pause and the 2-1. Nice bunt by Ian to the 3rd base side. Bobbled a bit by Lasher, the pitcher, but he'll throw on to first base, and Stevenson sacrifice good 1-3. So Hosting moves to 3rd. Phillips will be the batter.
Trevor Phillips.
Infield hit in the 2nd. Grounded to the pitcher in the third. And now Tyler Downing out to talk to his infield and battery. My guess here is they are discussing how to defend a potential squeeze here. We let everybody in the press box up here. Always a pleasure to see Coach Rollinger. Any words of wisdom, Monty? All right. Runner at third, one down. Infield going to be up at all four spots. No count yet on Phillips as Coach Downing back to the first base dugout. Phillips 1 for 2. The pause by Lazar and the pitch. Little number up the third base side. Capping will field on 2 hops. He'll throw to first base to retire Phillips. And there's 2 down here in the inning. And now the infield can move back to their regular spots. One of the 3 Decorah runs has scored with 2 outs. Ryan Thorsten will look up to add on to that total. Thorsten a single to left in the second, and he grounded to third in the fourth. The pause and the pitch, swinging a pop up into left field. Brockney is under it. He will make the catch to retire the side. So, a runner at third and 1 down, and the Vikes get nothing out of it. Hit by a pitch, 1 left, 5 complete. It's 3-1 Vikings. Top of the 6th inning we go. It's a 3-1 lead for the Vikings. Brady Sickman, Drew Mitchell, and Theo Arndt here in the 6th inning to face Ian Smith, who has given up only 2 hits. He's walked 1, he's hit a man, and he has struck out 1. More importantly, the Vikings have played very good defense here tonight. And by the way, that wood knocking was on the head of Elliot Christian. Thanks for offering hollow spaces there, E-Train. Brady Sickman swings at the first pitch. To his left is Joe Kanoki. He'll pick it up and throw to first base to retire Sickman. 1 down here in the 6th inning. Drew Mitchell will be the batter. Singled to right in the 1st inning and lined out to short in the fourth inning, and Mitchell swings the first one and smacks one into left for a base hit. So Mitchell has 2 of the 3 hits in this game off of Ian Smith. And overall on the night, he has 3 of the 5 hits that Charles City has. And Brady Gherkin will run at first base for Drew Mitchell.
Running at first base.
And Theo Arndt will be the batter. 1 on, 1 out, tying run at the plate. Arndt grounded to second in the first and grounded to second in the fourth. Left-hand hitter against the right-hander Smith. Ian getting ready to toss his 63rd pitch of the game. And he'll step off the rubber. And Ian Smith called for a balk. They got him for the quick pitch. Scott Hoppel out on the base pass the man who called it. He said he didn't come set for the necessary amount of time. Ian comes set, and the pitch. Low and in. It cops away from Johnson to his right. Moving up to third will be Brady Kirkin. So it's a 1-0 count on Theo Arndt. With now run number 2 for the Comets, sitting 90 feet down the line at third. Ian will work out of the windup here. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch, swing and a miss. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Since Ian's working out of the windup here, might be a little bit of a dangerous situation if Charles City notices that. They can try a squeeze play pretty easily here. I don't know how good of a bunter Arndt is. The 1-1 outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to count. I think Coach Wolf is noticing that over in the first base coaching box. If Ian is going out of the windup with the runner at third, that man at third, Gherkin, can take as big of a lead as possible. The 2-1 is outside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike now. Tom Kanoki, John Will Jenkins warming up in the Decorah bullpen behind their dugout on the third base side. 3 balls, 1 strike count with 1 down. The 3-1 delivery sliced into left field, and that will be a fair ball. Scoring easily will be Gherkin. Making the turn at first base is Arndt. He's coming to second. He will slide in at second without a play. An RBI double for Arndt makes it 3-2. And now the tying run at second base for Charles City. And I think Coach O is going to make the walk out of the third base dugout, and it looks like John Will Jenkins is coming into this game. Runner at second, 1 down here in the 6th. A 3-2 lead for Decorah. John Will coming in next. Ian Smith moves from pitcher to catcher. John Will Jenkins comes into the game for Decorah. Save opportunity here for John Will. 2-3 on the season. A 2.80 ERA. Opponents hitting 159 against him. 50 innings, 38 hits, 20 earned runs, 13 walks, 44 strikeouts. And he does have 2 saves on the season. He will inherit a runner at second, 1 in, 1 down situation. It's a 3-2 lead for Charles City in the top half of the 6th inning. The tying run at second base in the person of Arndt, who just doubled home Gherkin. Brockway is 1 for 2, and John Wills throws the first one by him. A swing and a miss, 0-1. The pause, a look back at second. A second look at second. The 0-1. One hopper, third base side, fielded there by John Will. He'll bobble. He'll throw to first base, and not in time. E1 makes it first and third with 1 down. And the batter will be Wyatt Stevenson. If John Will comes up with that one cleanly, he gets an out. The tying run does move to third, but he'd be there with 2 down as compared to having the tying run at third and the go-ahead run now on base. Wyatt Stevenson doesn't have an official at-bat yet. A sacrifice in the 2nd inning. He walked and scored in the 5th inning. We're in the 6th. Runners at the corners, 1 down. It's a 3-2 lead for Decorah on Charles City. John Will comes set. Runner at first takes off the pitch. Throw down to second base is in time to get the runner, and not going at third is Arndt. Ian Smith throws out Brockney with Dawson Meyer taking the toss. So 2 down in the inning. It's 1 ball, no strikes on Stevenson. The tying run still at third. Now the go-ahead run off base. Pitch outside. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Or actually, it's 1-1, I'm sorry. 1-1 the count on Stevenson. 0 for 0 on the night. The 1-1 delivery inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. So Ian Smith throwing out Brockney. Makes the situation a bit easier to manage, but now you just got to get it out. The pause by John Will and the pitch inside for 3 balls and 1 strike now. With Jordan capping in the on-deck circle, hoping for a turn. 3-2 to Cora, top half of the 6th inning. 3-1. Inside corner for a strike. And now it's 3-2 with 2 down here in the 6th. The 3-2. Taken for strike 3. John Will Jenkins gets out of the inning. Fastball outside edge. Stevenson rung up. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 3-2 to Cora. Cole Minks, Joe Kanoki, Gabe Varney. Curveball doesn't curve. And I think Cole Minks got hit by the pitch. Gene Marley, the home plate umpire, didn't make a call. Marley and now Scott Hoppel will get together and discuss the whole situation. And Cole Minks is going to get awarded a hit by pitch situation. The umpires determined that how Coach Olenczak called it was correct. As Minks hit by a pitch, he's now sacrificed, singled and scored, and hit by a pitch. And Joe Kanoki will be the batter. And now Tyler Downing is going to have an argument with the umpire, saying that Minks offered at the pitch while he was getting hit. The umpire is being courteous and going over to the Charles City dugout to have the conversation with TD. Minks will be the runner at first as of right now. Kanoki will bat when the umpires get back into their positions. Mike's in a position where an insurance run would help. They lead it by a 3-2 margin. And now TD and the umpires will end their conversation, and Minks isn't moving. Joe Kanoki will start the 4th trip around the batting order. Kanoki grounded to second in the 1st, grounded to second in the 2nd, and walked in the 4th. Vikings scored 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Comets with single tallies in the 5th and in the 6th. Move to first base, and Minksy back to the bag. Capping up at 3rd, expecting a bunt. Stevenson plays back at 1st, holding the runner on. Lazure comes set, and the pitch high and outside as Kanoki shows bunt and pulls back. 1 ball, no strikes the count. The pause. Kanoki shows bunt again, and a foul ball up the first base side. One ball, 1 strike to count. One and 1. Nobody out with Minks at first. 1-1. Nice bunt right in front of the plate. Lazure's only going to have 1 play. It's to first base. Stevenson, the first baseman, on the receiving end, and Kanoki does his job on the sacrifice.
Next, Gabe Varney.
Minks up to second with 1 down, and Gabe Varney will be the batter. Varney singled to center in the 1st, singled to left and scored in the 3rd, and fouled out to 3rd in the 4th. And Coach Olenczak taking an offensive timeout to talk to his runners, hitters. And it's a brief conversation. Conversation done. Minks at second with one down. Varney 2 for 3 on the night. He's the team leader in RBI with 25. The pitch smacked into right center field and a base hit. Minks rounding third. He's coming to the plate. He's going to score without a play on an RBI single by Gabe Varney. A big insurance run there, and Decorah leads 4-2. RBI number 26 on the season for Gabe Varney. A runner at first, one down. Dawson Meyer will look to keep the fun going for Decorah. He flew it out to right in the first, sacrificed to runner up in the third, and had an RBI infield hit in the fourth inning. The pause, the pitch, blown away. 1 ball, no strikes. I think it's Lazar's game right now. I did see a person warming up between innings for Charles City as the pitch goes low. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Breaking ball down and in. 3 balls and no strikes to count. Pause. 3-0. Inside corner for a strike, the old automatic. 3 balls and 1 strike. Pause by Lazar. The 3-1 with the runner going. Caught in the air at third. Capping will throw to first base. Not in time. Now Varney's going to go to third base, and that throw is wild. Varney is coming to the plate. He will score. Meyer will be to second base, and it's 3-1. Or did they rule that ball was in the air? It was caught in the air. Like I originally thought. There was absolutely no call made by either umpire there. That's the reason it's a confusing situation. And it's what it's going to end up being is a double play. Meyer lined out to third for the second out of the inning. And then Varney ends up doubled up 5-3. Now, Hoppel and Marley will get together and discuss the situation. Ryan Hogan probably doing more arguing here than anybody else, as John Will Jenkins is out to start things here in the 7th inning. Kind of a crazy start to that play. Basically, I thought it was in the air. And apparently, I think out of all that, the right call was made, because I thought Capping caught that ball at third. There apparently wasn't a definitive call from either umpire. Capping went ahead, and he did the right thing by throwing across the diamond, whether he was trying to get the double play or maybe trying to get the out at first, who knows. But Capping threw wild to first base, and a throw from first base was wild to third as Capping smacked it fair down the left field line. Capping will make the turn at first base and stay put right there. And there's one on and nobody out, and the tying run coming to the plate for the Comets here in the 7th inning. It looks like TD is going to make a change here. It's going to be Brady Gherkin. Going to be running for Jordan Capping at first base. Gherkin has appeared as a courtesy runner already, but this time he will be in as a pinch runner. And Noah Schlater
Gherkin running at first base.
will be the batter.
Noah Schlater.
Schlater grounded to third in the second, hit by a pitch in the fifth inning. Runner at first, nobody out. Tying run at the plate for Charles City. It's a 4-2 lead for the Comets. Gherkin with the short lead at first base. John Will brings it, and the pitch, a strike, snap throw to first base, and back to the bag lunging was Gherkin, as Gherkin was almost like he was trying to tackle Marlowe that time, unintentionally, of course, but he asked for time, and he cleans off the trousers, and it's no balls and one strike on Schlater. Schlater grounded to third in the second and hit by a pitch in the fifth. Oh, 1. Grounded toward short. 2 hopper to Dawson Meyer. To Kanoki at second for 1. Throw to first base is Wild. Making the turn is Schlater. And he's going to head to second base without a play. It'll be a fielder's choice, 6-4. Kanoki's throwing error will allow Schlater to reach second base. He'll be there with 1 down. And now the top of the order coming up for Charles City. And a 4-2 Decorah lead here in the 7th. Nate Lasher will try to help his own cause. Grounded to third in the first, grounded to short in the third, and grounded to second in the fifth. Vikes just need outs here. You really can't worry about Schlater out at second base as the pitch low from John Will. 1 ball, no strikes. That runner out at second base, Schlater, doesn't mean a lot. They've got to get another runner on base to get the tying run on base. Do the Comets. Jenkins ready, pitch down and in. Nice stop by Ian Smith, moving to his left, and it's 2 balls and no strikes now. 4-8-2 for Decorah. Actually, it's now 4-8-3 for Decorah, and 2-5-1 for Charles City. The pitch at the letters and for a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1. Ground ball, third base side. Charging there is Dawson Meyer. He'll throw to first base. The throw is late. Good job by Marlowe protecting that ball to prevent it from going past him at first base. Lasher will get an infield hit. And now the tying run on base for the Comets. 1 down here in the inning. The runner at third is Schlater. The runner at first is Lasher. And the batter will be Colton Slinger. Slinger flew out to center in the first, popped to short in the third, and flew out to left in the fifth.
Stepping up, Colton Slinger.
4-2 Decorah, top half of the 7th inning with 1 down. Pitch hit him. So now the tying run at second base for Charles City as they try to come back. Bases loaded. 1 down. Schlater third, Lasher second, Slinger first, Sickman to the plate. He's 0 for 3. Struck out, reached on an error in the first, grounded to the pitcher in the third, grounded to second in the 6th, up again here in the 7th. Pitch, there's a strike from John Will to the left-hand hitting Sickman on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1. Breaking ball down and away. One ball and 1 strike to count. 1-1. Sails high. 2 balls and 1 strike. From John Will Jenkins to Sickman. 2-1 delivery. In there for a strike. It's 2-2. Sickman, the only strikeout victim here in game number 2 for Charles City, the 2-2. Ground ball to the right side. Kanoki will field. He'll have one play. He'll throw to first base to get Sickman. Schlater will score. Lazier, the tying run, moves to third. Go-ahead run, Slinger moves to second. But everybody's there with 2 down. Now, Drew Mitchell is at the plate. Mitchell is 2 for 3 on the night. You do have a base open, but Decorah will pitch to Mitchell. First pitch swung on and missed. Good curveball down and away to the right hand hitting Mitchell. No balls and 1 strike. 2 on, 2 out. 7th inning in a 4-3 game. John Will ready 0-1, swinging a drive into left field. Retreating is Cole Minks. He's there. He makes the catch. And that's a Viking victory. Comets made things interesting in the 7th inning. But the Vikings get the doubleheader sweep 4-3. 4 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, 8 left for Decorah. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, and 7 left for Charles City. Ian Smith, the winning pitcher, he's now 5-1. John Will Jenkins gets his 3rd save, and Nate Lazier is the losing pitcher in this game. Decorah improves to 17-12 on the season. And 8-10 in conference play. Charles City drops to 7-19 on the season, and they will end conference play at 4-14. Many people to thank for making the broadcast possible. First and foremost, our advertisers, good sports-minded people who helped us bring the game wherever you were with help. Without their help, this coverage would not be possible. So as always, we encourage you to support the businesses who support local high school sports. And lastly, and most importantly, we thank you. That's right, you, the listener, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Viking fans, we know you enjoyed the outcome. Vikes sweep it tonight, 1-0 and 4-3. We'll be with you again Monday night as Decorah travels to Cedar Falls to take on the Tigers. 7 o'clock will be the start time for that one. So for the immoral support of Elliott Christian, I'm Darren Swenson saying so long from Olensack Field. Vikings win 2 tonight over Charles City. 1-0 and 4-3. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and we'll talk to you on Monday night. Have a great weekend, everybody.